relationships, and really we've been somehow leaning toward dating relationships and friendships, and we've been talking about roles and relationships. What we learned last week with the puzzle, name something we learned last week with the roles and
different roles we fall in, the different roles that we fall in. Like as far as are you
Leader,
a leader
player,
or a player
observer.
how did we choose roles?
Everybody just fell in there.
Huh? That was one way everyone just fall in, and everyone could be a leader. What was another way we chose roles?
Somebody appointed people because they know their personality.
Right. Someone else appointed people because they know their personality. In the grand scheme of things, everyone chose a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that we chose the group.
No,
Who?
God.
So ultimately, it's God. Even though we form friendships, okay. So that means our friendships are not coincidence, right? Our relationships are not coincidence, right? So God says He know you before He formed you in your mother's womb, right? So He knows how to put relationships together. He knows how to put friendships together. So friendships and relationships are never coincidence, right? So Akiko, right? So Akiko grew up in Japan. Right? Didn't know her, she didn't know me. I grew up in Rockford, right? When she decided, how did she know that we were gonna meet? She did not know, right? So she decided that I wanna go to school in America, right? She went to Boston, right? The Boston situation didn't work out at the college up there. I didn't know she was in this world. I didn't know she was in even living, right? I went to college in Iowa. She transferred to Iowa. Now she's from Japan, born in Japan, whatever. So a couple of years while we were in school, said hi, bye, whatever, but never had a relationship. Eventually, we formed a relationship. Now, was that just my doing and her doing and my boy who set us up? No. That wasn't just my doing and her doing. If it was my will, I couldn't have thought to have someone from Japan and me from Rockford meet up, right? So it has to be God's will, right? So God's chosen us to have relationships, whether they're relationships with the mate or relationships as far as friendships, right? So we found out when we were doing the roles in relationships that first thing we chose that people that are like us, right? Or people that's similar to us, right? That have the same goals, the same ideas, the same plan, or we can get along with, right?
Right.
So if I'm gonna have a friendship, first of all, I might just start with, do you get along with me, or do I get along with you? Right? That's not even easy. That's not something hard to figure out. So you're saying to yourself, does this relationship work? And they hate everything you hate, and he hates everything. You both hate everything that the other person do. Is this gonna work?
No.
That's not even hard. You don't have to pray about that. You don't have to do it. You don't have to fast 40 days about that. Right? That's something that's simple, right? So, I mean, there is sometimes, it's not saying that opposites don't attract, right? So if we look at the Bible days, we looked at the fact that the Gentiles were not allowed into the children of Israel sect, into the Jews sect. Right? But eventually God opened that up so that Gentiles were allowed in, right? There was no slave or free or creed or Gentile or Jew. There was nothing. God accepted all, right? So now it has to go past the outside, right? It has to go past how much money they make. It has to go past what they drive. It has to go past what denomination you grew up in. So there's some people that's gonna come to this church that wasn't. Lady Lisa, were you raised in Baptist? everyone raised in non-denominational here? No. Some people were Baptist, some people were Pentecostal, some people were Kojic, some people, we had some Catholics, some people from all different denominations and things. But there's got to be something that holds you alike, right? So what do we talk about is the main foundation of relationships in Christ?
Yeah.
God, y'all saying God, that's good. There's one word that you have to have.
Love.
Love. Love. That's the basic foundation of relationships with God. If you don't have love, you cannot bring all those things together. If you don't have love, I'm going to see color. Right? If you don't have love, you gain 50 pounds, I'm going to see that. Right? If I was looking for a 6'4", light-skinned and whatever, you'll have love after you, whatever, everything over. He's not going to be what I want to be, or she's not going to be what I want to be. There has to be love, right? So if you don't have love at the onset or at the foundation of things, and godly love at the foundation of things, so it's hard to say that situation is going to work without having some love, right? Because love covers a multitude of sin, right? So God's love is going to get you through some things that's on the outside, because you're not in that place all the time, right? As a Christian, you're not in that place when you go to your job. As a husband or a wife or as a friend, you're not always in that place. But you can always have love. So love's going to cover that. So one thing we discovered is that we don't always do the choosing. We are chosen to be friends. We are chosen to be in relationships. So that person that just want to be selfish, into them own selves, and doing whatever they want to do, not having friends, being a hermit, all those things, that's not really what we're called to do, right? We're called to connect with people, to be in relationships with people, because the thing is, we didn't call ourselves. Who called us? God chose us. God chose us to touch people. Right? You might have something, we talked about your roles that you play and responsibilities that you play. You might have something about you that can affect somebody else. Right? You might just, hey, you looking good today. Or hey, I like your hat today. That might change a person's life. Right? You could be a person, you could be a black person that says that to someone from a different race, and it can change their perspective about race that one time. Okay? So we're chosen. God called us to each other. He didn't call us to ourselves. Right? So we're chosen. So when we had those groups back there last week, and I said choose a group, right? You thought you were choosing your group, but I had already decided that we're going to choose groups, right? So God had already decided that there's someone that He wants you to be friend. There's someone that He wants you to have a relationship with. There's someone that He wants you to reach, right? So He's already decided that. He's already given you a service, because that's our first job, is to serve. Right? That's what relationship is about. It's not getting from the other person. The relationship is about serving. So I want to be a friend to someone. Right? Yeah. I know we're looking for friendship because we're lonely. But that's not what friendship is about. You should be going to give friendship to someone. Right? Give relationship to someone. So we are chosen. Right? God, you did not choose me, but God called you and chose you to love one another, and that your fruit might remain, right? So this is what relationships and friendships does. Friendships justify. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son, so that He would be the firstborn among many brothers. And those He predestined, He also called. Those He called, He also justified. Those He justified, He also glorified. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Are you a friend like this? to your friends? Do you justify your friendship? Your friends should be able to say, you should be able to say, they with me. You should be able to say, I cover them. You should be able to say, I'm justifying this relationship, right? So whatever relationship you're in, okay? So say you're a member of this church, right? Right? Someone say something, whatever, right? No, they CGC. Keep your mouth off of them.
Right.
Right? Keep your mouth off of them. But they do this. Hey, I don't know what they might, but hey, keep your mouth off of them. Right? That's what friendship, that's what God does for us.
Yes.
Right? He justifies us. Right? I know we have no problem if we justify friendships and justify each other like a mother justifies her child. That's a good example for me, right? Because I haven't had a parent to come to my office yet that said their child was wrong. They could have slapped the teacher. They're like, but the first thing they say, but what did the teacher do? Right? They could have slapped them 2 times, 3 times, upside down, kicked them. That's how a mother is going to justify their child, right? So are you justifying your friends? Are you justifying or are you condemning your friendships? God doesn't condemn the friendship or the relationship. God justifies. And how you justify is you put yourself out in front, right? You cover them with who you are, not and cover their weaknesses or whatever they've done. You cover them. You justify. You make them. If you have a relationship with a friend, say husband and wife, you should be make them proud to be with you. Right? Are you proud to walk in with Lonnie?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Right? So,
He said something that I don't know.
he said some things. He said some things. But that's how it should be. That's how it should be in relationships, right? So if you're in a relationship, if you're on a committee, right, no one should be able to enter your committee and tear your committee down. Right? If you're in a friendship, no one outside of that friendship should be able to come in and tear your friendship down. Right? If you're in a relationship, no one outside that relationship should be able to come and tear your friendship down. That's why the Bible says a man will leave his father and mother and cling to his wife. What is that talking about? Right? I'm no longer under my father and mother and under their directions and what they say and what they do. I know we got a lot of mamas and dads telling you what you should do in your marriage or your relationship, but that's why you leave the mother and father and you cling to your wife, right? So you justify each other, you build each other up, and you're no longer a child. You become a man and a woman in that relationship. So relationships justify each other. You should justify the relationship, right? You should make valuable, right? You should make precious the relationship, not tear down the relationship. So everyone who comes in contact with you that's going to form a friendship, if you're not going to justify it, it's not going to be a true friendship. Right? Everyone understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who want to be let down? Like, if you thought we were close and someone talking about you behind your back. Now, what if God talked about us behind our back? Right? You'd be hurt, right? That's not a true relationship, right? I'm not saying you cover up like all the sins and say they're not who they are, right? But like I said, my brother Jermaine, my God. I mean, we got in some fights with Jermaine. We got in some fights with Jermaine. And Jermaine was wrong a lot of times. He'd be starting these fights. Let's start these fights. But when he fought, you gotta go, right? That's just how it is. You gotta go. And then we get back in the car and get back home like, man, I ain't fighting for you no more. Next day, I ain't over here starting fighting with these big dudes. What you gonna do? this my brother, right? This my brother. I'm not saying he right, but you not beating him up, right? I'm not saying he's in the right, but I'm not just gonna let you tear him down, right? And so sometimes people don't understand that about ministry and about church, right? We're not lifting them up and saying that they're right, but we're not tearing them down. We're covering them, right? We're covering our members. We're covering our friends, right? And they're like, oh, you just lying for them. No, I'm not lying for them, but I'm not going to let you tear them down, right?
When I was growing up, my dad had a phrase. No, Scotty. My dad had a phrase in our house, and it was, if one go down, you all go down. And if we came in the house and we were in a fight, the first thing my dad would say, did you get in it? The first thing. And we would really try to be like, Dad, that's jumping. You can't jump. And he said, I said, if one go down, you all go down. And he would not allow us to not jump in. He didn't care. Like, have your sister's back if she winning. No. He'd look at us. He said, if one go down, you all go down. And we didn't understand it then, but that was his method of keeping us committed to one another.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, because of that, like, if one go down, you all go down, you know, so.
That's how it is. I have struggles with that on a daily basis. Because I come in my office, I get again to fight. Brother jump in and sister jump in. Like, Mr. Fanbro, you weren't gonna jump? I had to jump in. What you want me to do? Like, nah, man, you can't jump in. Like, you not real, Mr. Fanbro. You not real, man. I had to jump in. It's tough. You suspended, but then the mama come in. Man, you expect my daughter to get beat up here, man? That dude was the... I'm just saying, man, that was group violence. That's what the code said. It's difficult because I'm like, I would have jumped in too. But it is what it is. So you cover. You're justifying the fact that this person is in a relationship with you. This is a friendship here, right? So when Jesus said he died while we were yet sinners, he's saying you weren't right, but I still jumped in. That's what Jesus is saying. Like, matter of fact, you was dead wrong. You were sinning. Like, you stood up and said something out of pocket, but I was like, no, you're still not gonna touch them. That's what Jesus did for us. And that's love. That's true relationship, right? You don't leave somebody out to dry. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, oh man, this person in the church or this relationship, oh, they need help around, and you join in with that talk with somebody else. All right? So one of your friends call and say, man, your husband this, your wife this, your girl this, your brother, and you joining in with them, that relationship is not going to last long, right? I don't know a lot that did last long. You joining your friend, and you got to come back, and this is your relationship, right? No, you're going to have to stick here. You're going to have to justify, you're going to have to cover, right? That's what you're going to have to do in order to have a long-lasting relationship. And that's what God does with true relationship. He shows mercy because you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, to proclaim the virtues of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are people of God. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. I take this in the perspective of relationships, and I take it in perspective as, like, you've chosen each other. Whatever relationship you're in, you've chosen each other, right? First you were out of relationship. Now that you're in relationship, you've chosen each other, right? Now this is a possession. This is a prized possession, right? So now what you're going to do with your possession? So sometimes I fail to understand this. Relationships are tough.
Yes, they are.
They're easy tough, right? They can be easy, but there's some tough things you go through with relationships. So why go through all the hell right? And then when you get into the relationship, just let anyone tear it up. Don't value it. Once you get into it, don't value the relationship, right? So why would I spend all this time with the relationship with who's ever in the committee, who's ever on the team, who's ever, and then just in 1 minute you tear it down. You could tear something down in 1 minute after you built so many things up. Why do we tear things up and not value things in 1 minute? Not value, right? So you always have to value something as something or give mercy to something. You always have to have mercy in your heart. If you don't have mercy in your heart in relationships, man, you really, I don't know any friend, I mean, that's cool every single day. Maybe y'all got friends like that. Hey, how you doing? Maybe y'all got friends like that has never been and said anything to you or did something to you that you didn't like, right? So that's mercy, right? So again, if I speak with tongues of men and angels but have not love, I am noisy, a gong, a clanging cymbal, and I have not prophetic powers and understand all the mysteries and all the knowledge. And if I have all the faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, right? So we say down here, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy or boast, is not arrogant and rude, is not insist on its own way, is not irritable or resentful. So just put this in your spirit. If you have not love, none of your relationships are gonna work. Right? You can drive a Benzo, whatever. You can be the best looking or whatever. If you have not love, eventually that's gonna tear down because that's just the outside things. Right? You can do backflips if you want to be able to do backflips or whatever. But if you don't have love in your friendships and relationships, it's not going to last. Right? Because there's going to come a time where you're not flipping. Right? You might need gas in that bin one time. Right? So, love is the bottom line. Questions to ask yourself. Are you patient with each other? Are you kind to each other? Are you never envious of each other? Do you never boast about each other? Is your relationship characterized by humility? Are you never rude to each other? Are you not self-seeking? Are you not easily angered with each other? Do you keep no record of wrong? We should stop there, probably.
That's hard to do.
We probably should stop right there. That's never gonna work in a relationship. Because remember what you did is never gonna be nice to anybody. Remembering what you did. So if you're keeping a record of wrongs, right, that's never gonna work in a relationship, ever. I'm not smart enough to keep a record of wrongs. My wife be telling me something I say, and I be like, what? I definitely don't remember that. Are you truthful with each other? Do you protect each other? That's what we're just talking about, justifying, having mercy. Do you protect each other? Or you with your girlfriend saying, yeah, man, my husband, he did this, or my girl did this, or with your friend. Yeah, why you putting your friends out there? Why you putting your relationship out there? If you put your relationship out there, why do you not expect for someone to stump on it? You putting it out there, so now when you go to your friend or your pastor or somebody next time, you say, if they gonna tell you, man, leave that dude, leave that girl, break up the relationship. Well, why should I break up? Well, you just told me for 2 hours and cried for 2 hours, told me all this business, say he's not this and that. Oh, I was just mad that day. Well, don't put it out there. Don't put it out there, right? There's a difference from sharing your laundry and going to help and going to counseling about some serious issue. You can go to counseling, you can go to help, you can have your friend help you without sharing your laundry and your details of your relationship, right? You don't have to tell the details of your relationship to get some comfort from someone or to get some direction from someone. They don't need to know the details of your relationship, Everyone understand that?
Yes.
But actually my friend. Go ahead.
But then when they do that, what happens is, like if a girl either a guy, go to their friend and they tell them all the bad stuff, how do you think they looking at them? All they see is the bad, they don't see nothing good.
Right.
So they don't see nothing good about that person when that person come and try to say something like, that's one thing, but that's what parents and mothers and fathers with their, when somebody get married, they one person keep running to their parent, tell them all the bad stuff.
Right.
She don't see nothing good about the guy or about the woman, vice versa.
Right. Then you got Solange fighting Jay-Z in the elevator.
Cause if one go down, we all go down.
These were some people that wasn't saved. Now, this was a young lady that was married. She would always tell her friends how her husband would be doing, messing around with stuff like that. And other than that, he was a good man. And what happened, her friend ended up getting her husband married him and got the guy in church today.
Oh.
So she talked about it, but the girlfriend saw something in it.
Oh.
And she ended up with it.
Yeah,
And
she
that's-
saw
that's
that he'll
true.
mess
That I
around.
know.
Right.
She saw he'll mess around, cause that's what she heard.
When you said what?
She saw he will mess around
Yeah, but I'm saying he quit all that and cause she saw.
afterward.
Yeah, and after they got together, he quit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're right, messing with
She
her.
kept going to church and got him saved after she got it.
She had more patience.
So protect each other and trust each other. That's what relationships are about. Relationships should draw you closer to Christ, not closer to sin. That's a good one right there. Right? Don't compromise to keep anyone. God is more important. Explain that to me, somebody. I don't know if y'all get it. Anybody understand that?
Well, is it like if somebody get in a relationship with somebody and they know that the partner is out doing whatever, they change themselves because they want to, and I actually have a friend that is exactly like that.